guys! Today I'm going to be showing you how to make Lexa's costume from the TV show The 100. Lexa is my absolute favourite character. I just love her so much, and so I wanted to make her costume. Sorry my intro got cut a little short there, but let's just hop right into it. Firstly, we're going to be making the shoulder armour. I just basically made up this pattern, but I'll link a copy of it down in the description box if you'd like to use the same one. And I'm just tracing that out onto some foam. I bought a whole pack of this craft foam at my local craft store. Then of course you need to just cut that out. And then fold it so that the edges touch, and this will create a three-dimensional shape. This tape I'm using, it doesn't really matter what you use, but I got some of this cloth tape from my local hardware store, and I'll be using that throughout pretty much the whole tutorial. And that's what it looks like. And you'll need to make 2 of those. Next we need to make a bunch of circles. I'm just tracing a mason jar lid, and I think I used about 20. Next, just cut those out, and use a hole puncher to put 6 or 7 holes in each one. In the centre I'm going to be placing one of these little gold eyelets. This isn't necessary, I just thought it looked pretty cool. And then just distress and cut chunks out of the edges with a pair of scissors. Next I'm using this grey spray paint, which again I'll also be using all throughout the video. I'm just punching down the eyelets so they're nice and flat. And then I gave all 20 of those little circle things a coat of grey spray paint on both sides. Next I'm just going to crumple up some newspaper and dip it in some white paint and use that to add some dimension and a bit of a distressed look to each of the little round things. And then once that's done, you can glue it all together onto the shoulder pieces. And that's what they look like. And if you want, you can add some Velcro dots to the underside so that they can stick onto your clothes easily. Next up is the arm pieces. I'm going to be using some craft foam again, and this one there's no real measurements, you just sort of have to model it on your own arm and figure out what's comfortable. I'm just holding it together with some pegs and then cutting off the excess, and then gluing that together. If you can, use a proper craft glue. Next, spray paint the entire thing, which I should have done all at once here, and draw out where you're going to put your little spikes. I couldn't find any spikes, so I'm using these little beads, but they worked fine. And once those are all glued down, you'll need to give the final thing another coat of grey spray paint. Next is the shirt. I picked this up at an op shop. Basically all you want to look for is long sleeves and generally a good length, and this kind of ribbed texture, which I thought was really cool. I used some Rit black dye to just make it a little bit darker until it looked like Lexa's. For the shoulder harness, we're going to need a bunch of belts. I got a wide woven belt, a regular belt, a skinny belt, and another regular belt. So it looks really confusing, but I'm going to walk you through the process so it's a little less confusing. So just cut off half of the skinny belt like this, because we're going to thread it through like that. And this skinny belt will reach from the top of one shoulder to under the arm of the other shoulder. And then this woven belt, which I spray painted grey to look like fake chainmail, that will go underneath that, but we're not going to attach that to the end, so just put that aside for now. Next you need to cut the buckles off the regular belts. That's because we're going to need that later for the waist belt thing. And so one end of this regular belt will attach to the lower end of the skinny belt like this. and then it will reach down and around and then come up again to attach to the top end of the skinny belt. I have this keyring, it happens to open, but that doesn't really matter, and I'm just going to clip that onto the back. Next, with the second regular belt, cut off the buckle again, and that will reach from the top of the other side halfway down where we're going to cut it. And then leave about 10 centimeters and continue it around, coming up to the other side, like this. I cut out this little shape out of some craft foam, and we're going to be putting that on the end of the regular belts, and that will loop through the ring, like this. And I also glued down a little washer onto here, just because I thought it looked cool. Next, I gave that a coat of grey spray paint and glued it onto the end of the belt. And I did the same with the other side, although I have to say hot glue wasn't the best for working with belts. And lastly, all I had to do was just attach the fake chainmail, and then that's it. Next, we're going to create the gloves. I just got these gloves from a costume store, and I'm just keeping it really simple and just cutting them off and making them fingerless, and that's pretty much it. You could also use a pair of bike gloves if you have some. Next up is the belt, possibly the most complicated one. We're going to be making it mostly out of craft foam. This is what you're all going to need. You can screenshot that if it's easier. We're going to have a sturdy belt at the center, and then the two buckles from before on either side. And the two widest pieces of craft foam will go like this, so we're just going to glue that down, and then glue the buckles on either side, and just try it on, make sure it fits okay. Next, the skinnier pieces that are 2.5 and 2 centimeters wide are going to be covered in tape. This is the cloth tape from before. And for the 2 centimeter ones, we're going to be gluing them 3 across to make a long strip, and then adding tape on the outside. And this is basically how it's going to be arranged. The 2 centimeter strips will go horizontally, and the 2.5 centimeter strips will go down vertically. And next you just need to glue it all together. It helps to look at a reference picture for this. Again, keep trying it on, making sure it fits okay. And I'm sorry I lost the footage, but remember to glue on the vertical 2.5 centimeter strips as well, evenly placed around. Then I just took some white paint on a sponge brush and used that to kind of add a distressed, worn look to the belt. This also helps blend in the black with the grey. Lastly, the extra pieces you'll need. I just wore some black combat boots that I already had, as well as some black jeans, and I got this sword from the dollar store. I'm just going to real quickly show you how I did my makeup. I used a black gel eyeliner, I think the e.l.f. one, just around my eyes to make it really dark. And then I got a matte black eyeshadow powder to fill in the rest. Today we're going to be creating a really subtle smoky eye. Yeah, this is why I'm not a beauty guru. Oh my gosh. If you want to see a proper tutorial, there's a bunch by actual makeup artists on YouTube, so definitely go check those out. And for the hair, I just twisted the top pieces up and pulled them back. And then the side pieces around my face, I just swept back up on top of that. And that's really all. thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and you can subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be making a costume video every single week until Halloween. If you want, you can also check out my second channel. That'll be linked up in the cards as well as in the description box. And I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Downtown we let it go. Sunset high and our bodies low. Blood rush in a hazy glow. My hands, your bones. Loose up, we break the scene. One step deep as you fall to me. Hot clap, we skip a beat. Count 1, 2, 3. And don't you stop the music, get into it. Won't you dance with me?